All right, guys. So we are all done for day 3 of the Wealthy Trustee workshop. I'm super excited. We had a lot to do today. So today we established our 508c1a faith-based organization, which is our tax-exempt trust. So we went through step by step we reviewed the declaration, the trust constitution, and the bylaws. So we set that up, and then after that, we went and applied for our EIN for our tax exempt organization with the IRS. And lastly, I showed you the ordination process for you to get ordained to become a minister for your faith-based organization if that's what you want to do. So with that being said, I want to open up the floor for any questions that you guys might have based off of the information that we went over today. So I'm going to go ahead and start the process. And the first person that I see is M. Cheryl. Sherelle.
Hey, Christina.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. Um, can can we use this ministry trust like in a current business?
I mean, so you can operate it like a business, but it can't be for profit. So it will be nonprofit.
Okay. Can you can you explain to us how you are currently using your business trust and your ministry trust with your business right now?
Okay. So my business trust is
Mhm.
I have several business trusts. So one of them is acting as a holding company. So I will show you guys an example. One second. Okay, so this is the Secretary of State, right? So this is what I've been explaining the entire week, but I just want to show you so you guys can have a visual, okay? And I will also show you step by step how to do this on Friday. So we're not done. It's only Wednesday. Um, so the business trust, like I said, you use it. And one thing that I want you guys to know is that even though you're in this program and you have a business trust that's available for you, if you don't have a business, then maybe it's not applicable for you, right? If you don't have a business or if you don't want to run a business, if you don't want to start a business, or if you don't have any investments or anything like that, right? Um, and so individuals who are like not entrepreneurs, I just let them know you still want to go ahead and create it just in case in the near future you might want to utilize that trust or you might want to start a business, okay? So anyways, on the public records, right? I'm going to go ahead and search one of my LLCs, okay? So this is one of my LLCs. And what I want to show you is that on the public records, you don't see anybody's name, right? So nowhere on here do you see my name at all. So this company is not tied to me at all. Why? Because you don't see my name. You can't find it, right? I'm not here as a registered agent. I'm not here as a member. This is a trust, a business trust, the one that we set up on Monday. This is a trust. These are entities. They are the owners of, that's why it's designed, right? So they're entities that own and operate other entities. So So that's how I utilize it. I think that's what you asked me. How do you utilize it? I utilize it the way that I tell you to utilize it. I utilize it as a holding company.
As a holding company. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, appreciate it.
All right, let's move on. We have Lawson.
How you doing, Christine?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm wonderful as well. Great job, of course. The piggyback on my man's question, that wasn't my question, but I know there's a few people on here that's definitely thinking this too. When you're using your holding company, what is it for? As far as when you use the word holding, you know what I'm saying? Can you explain that uh, a little bit
Yeah,
more?
so let me ask you a question. Do you want to be the owner of the business, or do you want to remove that liability 100% from you as the individual, as the person? Or do
Absolutely. I want to be,
or do you want to be liable?
no, I want to, not be liable,
Okay. So the reason for the holding company is to own or manage other legal entities, and for the holding company to take 100% liability over
Mhm.
those companies, so that in the event that those companies are sued, they're not going to come after you as the individual. So they're
Mhm.
not going to come after Christina Yvette.
Right.
They're going to come after another entity.
I appreciate that. Um, my question was, you earlier you were saying it about all our paperwork, wherever we go, the trust go. So do you take your binder with you on all your trips? Because I know you take many trips, and I know you do you have business meetings and different things. So would you encourage people to take that binder with you at all times, or is it set in a certain place that for security?
So I would tell you no, because in the event that you lose that binder, and if you don't have another, you don't have a second or third copy, then all of your trust documents or your records are gone. And if that trust document is destroyed, it becomes inoperable. And
Okay.
so then that means that now you have to shut it down and start over with a new trust. So I have electronic versions. I always recommend that people have electronic versions. So, and I'll show you guys this tomorrow, right? Is how to do a board meeting. So whenever I'm going on these trips, I have a board meeting. So everything is on my laptop. So all of my trust documents, everything that I have in physical version, I have in electronic version. And I have these things here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, what is that?
External drives. So I have
Oh,
external drives that have all of my trust documents on it. So everything that I have in my binder is there. So I travel with my externals.
wow. I appreciate that. I just learned something. That is, because not only can you put that on, but you can put everything on external drives, all your important documents and everything. So you just shared some powerful knowledge there. I appreciate you, sis. That was all. You enjoy the
Thank
rest of
you.
your day.
You too, Lawson. Thank you. Next, we have Derek. Hey, Derek, how are you?
How you doing? Great. Just a couple of quick questions. One, once we do the EIN with the faith-based organization, how do we get the tax exempt card, or how can we start being exempt from taxes?
You're automatically exempt from federal taxes. So there's nothing that you have to do with the IRS, right? So you do not have to file a 1041 with the IRS unless you have generated over $5,000 in income, okay? So anything over 5,000 in income, you do have to file a 1041. Now, you have to be mindful. That's why proper documentation is very important, because you have to be mindful of the monies that is coming into the organization, how are you documenting it? How are you labeling it? Are you labeling it as donations, as tithes, as gifts? If you're not, then it's going to be considered income and it's going to be considered taxable income. Okay. So after that, so the only exemption that you have is federal income taxes. All the other exemptions, you qualify for them, but you have to apply for them. Meaning, if you want sales tax exemption, you have to apply for sales tax exemption with your state. If you want property tax exemption, you have to apply for property tax exemption with your county. If you want state tax income tax exemption, you have to apply for that with your state. Okay.
So if let's say I was walking into Best Buy or something to get a TV, I wanted to buy it for my ministry. Would I be able to do something like tax exempt with them? Like how would I apply for?
So you have to go to the state and you have to apply for sales tax exemption, and then they will give you a card, a paper, and then that's what you're going to give to Best Buy or show.
Okay, what website would that be to apply for the self?
So you're going to go to the Secretary of State for your state. What state are you in?
GA.
Okay,
Sure.
so you're going to go to Secretary of State. So you could put GASOS,
Okay.
and then
Appreciate
so so inside, there's only so much that I can show you
Yeah.
while we're live here. So inside of the course, there's a section, I'll show it to you,
All right.
where we go by this step by step. Okay, so you have to understand that the course has a lot of other training material that you're going to need. So it's not, do the workshop or the course. You need both because the course has all your resources, your ebooks, your everything. So I'm just going to show you where to find it, okay?
Okay.
Okay, one moment.
Yeah, I know it says we can usually can get one EIN a day, I guess under whatever social. Um, how many
It's one,
EINs?
it's one EIN per responsible party per day.
Okay. Virtual office. It needs to be the business virtual office, right? Like the 14.99 or is it not?
So that's the best option.
Virtual business address.
Correct.
And to get a bank with a trust, you just give them the certificate of trust, like whenever you're doing paperwork.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're gonna give them, yeah, you're gonna give them your certificate of trust, all the pages.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry, I'm going so slow. Have you logged into the portal, Derek?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So the question that you are asking, so if you go down here to where it says tax strategies, and then you see where it says trust tax exempt status,
Yeah.
or right here, but this is a good section, but here where it says how to apply for sales tax exempt status, see
Yes.
that? Okay, so that's where you'll go.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you so much. Have
You're
a good day.
welcome, Derek. All right, you too. Next, Stacy. Stacy, are you still available?
Hi, I'm sorry. My my headset was unplugged. Okay, you guys can hear me, right?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so here goes. I have some questions. Can a trust be the grantor for another trust, including a nonprofit?
Yes. So first of all, it just depends on the actual trust. So a grantor can be in an entity. A grantor can be an LLC, it could be another trust.
Okay,
Mm.
and can I limit the number of members in the FBO?
Yes, you can customize it.
Okay. This is about the vice chair. There was something in there called a pro temp. Is that like complete? Because it looked like an error, like a grammatical error or something. Said PRO-TEM. Is that a correct word?
Okay, where
That's
is it?
it's in under the vice chair. I think it's section 5.3. If you find vice chair in the document,
Okay, hold on 1 second.
I'm gonna try to find that myself. Vice chairman. I wasn't sure if it was like an actual word or I think I've heard of a
Yeah,
pro temp.
yeah, it is. It's an actual word. So
So
it's
that's
just what we're saying in that section is that if there is no vice chairperson available, then so if the trustee is absent during the meeting, then the vice chairperson can temporarily step in as the trustee.
okay. So PROTEM is all correct
That's,
where it is.
yeah, you can look it up on Google.
Okay. And the other question is, the LLC under the FBO needs a new EIN or would need a new EIN
The LLC,
or its
no.
own, or I should probably say the LLC under the FBA would need its own EIN. So that's a no.
The LLC,
Like
the
if you
LLC.
have your FBO, right? Or your FBO trust. That
Mhm.
trust has its own EIN. So now you were like, okay, I'm doing an LLC underneath the trust. Does
Does the
that,
LLC exist already?
it does not, but in the future, if it does, would it need its own EIN?
Yes. Yes. Thank you for clarifying. Yes. So all entities need their own EINs. Yes, Stacy.
Gotcha. And the FBO and the business trust, can they have the same virtual address? Like I'm doing my faith-based organization now, and I created the business trust, I don't know what, 5 days ago or whatever. Can they have, since the only reason I'm asking if the FBO and the business trust can have the same virtual address is because it seems like they both operate in the public. Do you see what I'm saying?
So I was gonna let you know it depends on how you operate it. So if both of them are gonna operate out here in society, in the community, then yes.
Okay, but if it's in a private, you
Then
would
no.
match it maybe, then you would match it maybe with a family trust?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that was, my questions are all answered. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Stacy. Thank you. All right, who do we have next? Miss Angelique, how are you?
Hi, Chris. Hi, Christina. Hi, everybody.
Hi, beautiful
So,
woman.
so my first question is in Article 5, when we have to put our address, someone said, is it our address, our personal address, not the, you said it's a different address from the,
Um,
from the,
so so typically what you want to do is you want to put the trustee's address, and this is internal, okay? So no one is going to, this is not going to be registered anywhere for them to see it.
okay,
If
okay,
if if you're not comfortable with that, then you can put the trust address. But
okay, but it's fine. Okay,
typically when you're naming these different position holders, you're putting their name, their address, their phone
Mm-hmm.
number.
Mm-hmm. So this would be the only time pretty much that you would actually put your own address.
Yeah, because this
Okay.
is
Okay.
internal, this is on the trust documents.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. And then my question for the FBO, how long does it have to be in existence before you can start applying for funding, like through grants and investors and the banks? And do you have to go through a prerequisite process with the banks like you do when you're trying to apply for business credit? How you gotta like establish a relationship, and then you gotta show transactions for 3 to 6 months and everything before with a personal account before you can apply for a business account. So
That's a good question.
okay, what's
That
the answer?
That's a good, no, so what I'm going to tell you is it depends on the lender, right? If you're getting loans, it depends on the lender. Every lender is different. There are lenders that will provide funding for brand new businesses or organizations. As far as the grants, it depends on the organization that's providing the grant, what their requirements are. If they issue grants to new organizations, or if you have to be a year old or 2 years old, or what the requirements need to be. Okay, so
Okay,
it's not one generic thing. It's per organization.
okay, okay. And my other question for the ministries. So, do you have to perform a duty once a year in order to stay in compliance? Because I overheard someone saying they had a friend that has the ministries and they have to perform, they have to, or they will perform a wedding ceremony once a year on their property in order to stay in compliance, I guess, in order to have their property to stay um, uh, within
The
the
guidelines
statutes
for
of
being exempt,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
So do you have to
so
do that?
Right, that's a really good question. So it depends on the county. Every county is different. So when you go to apply, in the event that you put your property into the FBO, you're going to apply for tax exempt status or
Mhm,
exemption. And
mhm,
there are additional requirements for that county. Your county, my county, everyone's county is different. Every single county is different. So
mhm,
some counties will require you to, for example, provide them with a seating arrangement. Why? Because you're letting them know that you're an organization that has gatherings. So there is certain information that they want to know in order to grant you the tax exempt status, and in order for you to continue to qualify.
mhm. Okay. Okay, so it's a lot of research. And all of that stuff is in the course that you just showed us. Like those kind of these questions that I'm asking, that's in that information in the
There's a lot,
courses.
there's a lot of stuff in there. So we have a lot of resources just on the FBO.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's all.
All right, thank you, Miss Angeli. Next, we have Miss Monet.
I put my hand down. The question I have on the pages that have to be notarized. So on this document, it was pages 46, 47, I think 44. That notary area, after you put the date in, the notary is saying on this date, I noticed the signature by. Is that the grantor's name or the trustee's name that need to go in that slot?
Which trust are you looking at?
The one we just did, the faith base, is on all of the trusts where the juror acknowledgement with a
Okay,
notary
so so
to.
so you're gonna put the date and you're gonna put the names of so it's not you, so excuse me, let's rewind. The notary is going to fill out the acknowledgement. They are acknowledging that you signed before them. They are going to fill out the date and the people that came before them that provided identification. So on the page, if it's the grantor and the trustee, then those are the signatures that they witnessed. So they're going to put their names on there. So it's going to be the date, it's going to be the name of the grantor, the name of the trustee, and then they are going to sign underneath that, which is the witness area.
The grantor and trustee is going to sign the witness area?
No, they're
Oh.
going to put the names of the grantor, the names of the trustee, and then underneath that acknowledgement is the signature area for the notary.
Okay. All right. So both names. All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
everyone's name that's on everyone who executed a signature on that page.
okay. All right. So if it's 3, 4 people, all those names will go there.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. Simple. All right. And the last question I have is, um, trying to do this without it being lengthy. In one of your YouTube videos, or probably few of them, you always break down how, okay, the business trust, if it makes 100,000 and it has deductions, and then you could pass on the 70,000 to the family trust. And then depending on what this family trust do, the difference left over, like 10,000, goes to the faith-based organization. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. When it comes to the family trust, what expenses or spending can be considered deductible to reduce that income? I know how it happens with a business, but with on a family trust level, I don't understand that.
That's a really good question. So every single asset that belongs to the trust is considered an administration or a trust expense, right? So, for example, if you have a car inside of the trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
That car is used for trust business, whatever it is commuting you, from one point to the next, right? So anything dealing with that asset, so that car is owned by the trust. So there's maintenance, there's gasoline, there's a car note, and there's insurance. So all of those are administrative expenses for the trust because that asset is
Okay.
owned by.
Okay. So my car, if the car, the house, uh, all the assets, whatever expenses that is incurred by each of those assets, that's what is being reduced in the family trust.
Correct. And then if the trustee is on trust business, whatever it is, right? Those are all expenses in relation to trust business is covered by the trust.
Okay. All right. I got it. I lied. One more, and then I'm done. Um, you said it the other day, I asked the question, and you said that if you're sued, and okay, say it's the business trust, you own an LLC, or in your case, like you said in the beginning of your journey, you had real estate property that someone told you to put the property under. In case somebody got injured and they sued, they wouldn't sue you, but they could still sue the trust. Is that correct?
It's possible, yes. I'm not
It's
going to tell
possible.
you, right. I'm not going to tell you it's not possible. A lot of trusts have gone to court. It's possible, yes.
It's a thing. Okay.
It's very hard. It's very hard. Um, another thing that I need you to know, because I saw somebody put it in the chat, is just because a trust is sued, um, it doesn't mean that they have penetrated the trust, right? So just because ABC Trust has to go to court, you're either going to hire an attorney or you as a trustee are going to represent the trust, right?
Mhm.
But the trust documents are still private. They don't know what's inside of the trust. They don't know that the trust has 10 houses and $1 million in the bank. They don't know that there's 5 beneficiaries and who the beneficiaries are. They don't know any of that information.
Okay.
So it's very hard to penetrate an irrevocable trust in court if it's sued. So they don't know if the trust, what the trust has. The trust could very well have nothing, or the trust could very well have 5 million.
But they don't know. Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Monet. All right, next we have Delvin.
Hello, how you doing, Christine? Excuse me.
Wonderful.
Got a question. On other lives, you mentioned that there was some resources in the community to function as grantors. Is that still available?
Yeah, so we have a lot of community members that have volunteered to be grantors. So it's inside of the you receive an email every 2 weeks, which is a volunteer directory. So I don't know if you guys have received it yet, but I'll ask the team to send it out for the individuals who have just got in. But there's a directory with a list of our community members that they can serve in other capacities. So grantor, trustee, notary, things like that.
Okay. And then speaking of like naming conventions, I know there's no issues with, conflicting with state entities like LLCs, as long as everything is private. But if you're going to be doing business, is that a big concern? You might have the same name as an LLC out there or something.
A lot of companies have the same name, right? So
Okay.
it's just based on the jurisdiction, right? Because if I have ABC LLC, right, in Florida, someone else could have ABC LLC in Georgia, in Texas, in New York, and all these different places. So yeah, it depends on the jurisdiction. So your jurisdiction is common law.
Okay. When we're speaking of the beneficiaries of these three trusts, the business trust and the faith-based organization, the beneficiary is going to be the family trust.
That's
And then the
correct.
family trust, okay, in the family trust, the beneficiaries are going to be some living, breathing people.
Yeah,
my
that and
case
that's
here.
yeah, that's if you want it to be like that. Yeah. So if you want, your children or your grandchildren or whoever, your next of kin, your sibling, whoever, those natural persons, if you want them to be beneficiaries of your family trust, you can set it up that way. Myself and a lot of other individuals have set up a trust for the next generation. So if you want to set up a trust for the next generation, you can. So for example, my daughters, they have a YouTube channel. So I set up a trust for them. So that once their YouTube channel is monetized, the money will go into their trust. So the beneficiary of my trust is their trust.
Okay.
So you can set it up that way. A lot of parents do it that way. It's just, an option. Because you have to also know and understand that in the event that the trust is terminated, those assets are going to go to a natural person. So you're back to that vicious cycle of it being in somebody's personal name, it then being liable to be taken away by the government, probate, this, that. So everyone's situation is different, but Yeah, your children are going to be the beneficiaries of your family trust.
But if we do it the way you just mentioned, that your children's trust is the beneficiary of your family trust, but then that's kind of who's the beneficiary of their trust then? I mean, another trust?
Yeah,
Okay.
so yours, it doesn't have to get that complicated. Everyone's structure is different, everyone's situation is different. So I only give this example because my children, I'm putting them in a position to where they're going to be generating income underage. So um you just might want to consider that, but generally that's the way it is. So you put your children in there.
Okay. Then if me personally, I'm a real estate investor. So that's kind of one of the big benefits to me would be reducing the property taxes on the properties that I own. So if I start this faith-based organization, I mean, is it common to put all your properties into a faith-based organization in an attempt to reduce the taxes and the expenses going out? I mean, is that something common, advisable? I mean, is there risk involved?
That's a really good question, Delvin. So, one thing that I need you to know, is that it is a very good idea that if you potentially want to mitigate the property taxes on your homes, that you put them into an FBO. An FBO is just like a church. So just always think about it kind of like a church, okay? So if you
Okay.
have a church and there's there's a building where people gather, right? Um Generally these churches, they have one location, right? They have one location where you go and you gather. So with the faith-based organization, if you're going to be eligible for property tax exemption, only one property, one piece of real estate is going to be eligible for property tax exemption. So you could have 10 houses in the FBO, but only one will get tax exemption. So it doesn't make sense to put 10 houses in there if only one. So if you wanted to achieve this strategy, you're going to have to put one house per FBO.
Okay. Okay. I got you with that one. And then question as far as if I have my beneficiaries are living, breathing people of the family trust, can those same people function as trust board members of the FBO?
Yes, it's a separate entity.
Okay. So, okay. All right. All right. All right. Thank you very much. I think that'll do it for me.
Thank you, Delvin. All right, next we have Kanan.
Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, it's Canaan. Yep, it is. You
Kanan,
saying
okay.
it.
All right,
Yep.
cool, cool.
Um,
Awesome.
couple questions here. Um, I- you mentioned before that the grantor, I guess we talked about the grantor. I was talking about the grantor being a responsible party to establish a trust for the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
They're the responsible party in the IRS eyes, the grantor is.
Yes. So, that's what the IRS wants, okay? So that's their protocol, that's their rules and their regulations. So they ask you for both positions. That's what they label it as. The
Okay.
IRS EIN application labels the responsible party as the grantor. So it says grantor. So the application says who's the responsible party. You're going to put the grantor's name. once the application is about to be submitted, that label, responsible party, converts to grantor.
Okay. I just don't understand how, if they're the responsible party, how wouldn't they be, if the trust was sued or if there was an issue, why they wouldn't be responsible for the issue? Is that
Yeah, so the trustee is the fiduciary. So the trustee is the authorized representative of the trust, right? So they're the ones who's operating the trust,
okay?
right? So so honestly, that's just a term that they use. That's
Okay.
internal with the IRS. Nobody's
Okay.
walking here saying that the grantor is the responsible party. That's just what they label it as. It could have just very well said grantor.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
don't have to get wrapped up in labels. There's a lot of labels, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Grantor,
It's driving me crazy.
it can mean settler. Grantor, it can mean trustor. Grantor, they just put responsible party, but then when you go to submit it, it doesn't say responsible party.
Let me ask you this question. Does the grantor's credit affect the ability of the trust building credit when they're
No,
responsible? They don't?
no,
It doesn't affect it at all? Okay. All right.
no.
The last
Yes,
one.
you're building credit off of the EIN. So we're going to talk about credit tomorrow, and we have a
Okay.
specialist
Okay.
who's going to come in and break everything down.
Okay, great. Can you, if someone had a 501(c), could they name the 508 the same as the 501(c) that they already have, or it should be different?
It should be different. They
Okay.
could,
Okay.
they could. So a statutory entity could have the same name as a trust.
Okay.
That's optional. That's if you want to do that, okay?
That's fine. The last thing is in that faith-based trust we created today, in the Article 2, where it says the registered agent, again, that I guess just keep getting, I guess I'm getting caught up in labels, I guess, because I just felt like that person would be responsible because their name is listed on the trust or whatever. But I guess I'm not
Overthinking.
understanding that they wouldn't be
So,
responsible.
so what is a registered agent?
I thought that was the person identified as the contact person for the trust or for whatever the business is or entity is.
Okay, so for example, if the trust went to the bank and wanted to, to get a bank account, who would they contact?
The registered agent,
No,
the trustee.
the trustee. So that's why in that section it says registered agent and you're putting trustee information.
Okay.
So it's really the person who's receiving communication.
Okay. Okay. That was my last question. Thank you.
All right, next we have Marvell.
What's up, Chris?
How are you, boss?
Good, good. Everything's lovely. His question is for extra added layer of anonymity for people who don't really know that you would like them to be your grantor. Like I'm asking my mom, but she's gonna have a million damn questions, especially when it comes to, me using any of her numbers. If I were to set her up on her own numbers or whatnot, her EINs and this, that, and the third. Could I just put all the information down as it pertains to her name and address, or does it have to be a physical person?
So you would have to fill out the SS4 form manually if it's going to be an entity applying for another entity.
Okay, okay, got that. And as far as my when you're doing brokerage accounts, would that be a extra step that you would have to do if you were to transfer brokerage accounts into whatever trust you would want to put them in for like as your business? because I have brokerage accounts, and like the trading part is the business. So how would I structure that?
Yeah, so you have to contact the broker to let them know that you want to change the account to the name of the trust.
All right, that's all I got, darling. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next we have Alan.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. How are
Okay, thank
you?
you very much. You too, thank you very much for being kind and patient with us. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. Some of the question I had already been answered. Thank you for all the smart people here. Make my life easier. And now come back to the borrower and member. Member has to be paid 10% no matter what, or this is a kind of option? Because you said if the member want to be part of
Oh,
it.
so you can customize it. So if you don't
Okay.
want it to be 10%, change it.
Okay. Another thing is the borrower. Borrower, you talk about borrow money, like trustee or beneficiary can borrow from the ministry up to $250,000.
Yes, so that number you want to tailor it to your organization. So it's just going to either be a percentage or a certain dollar amount that you choose.
No problem. But the point is, if I give it to them, uh, do I have obligate to pay me back, or I can just give it to them to
Yeah.
some?
So it's it depends on how you document it. Are you going to document it as a loan, or are you going to document it like as a grant? So
As a grant,
it's
for example.
yeah. Yeah, so then if it is the grant, then they don't have to pay back as long as they're using the funds for the purpose that they said they were going to use the funds for.
But who's going to check on it beside beside the trustee, beside the
Yeah.
administrator?
I mean that's your duty to do so.
Okay,
So
amazing.
it has to be in the agreement that they're going to submit their financials for you to be able to verify that the funds went to the appropriate places.
In case, for example, one of the beneficiary can request for that. The
You said they can.
ministry, yeah. In case one of the beneficiaries said, "Hey, can I get the loan, then buy a house," for example.
Right. So they could use the loan for, they can't use it obviously for personal use, so they can use it for, for their mission. So, if you wanted to assist them with them getting like a physical business for a physical location for their organization, then you could.
Okay, and then already answer the tax situation. Let's go back to a couple more questions. Basic here. Number one, in the Article 8, excuse me, in the Article 8, Section 6. Do you have a section? They said Article, I think is 8, Section 2, but I couldn't figure out in that sentence where was that, what that mean. If you look at that in the bylaw, Article 8, Section 6.
So all of those sections are referring to the trust constitution. So you have to go back to the trust constitution.
Okay, because I go back, I couldn't find it. That's what I'm asking. Some of them I did find it, but this one I couldn't find it. I thought maybe they have one line there extra. Because
Okay.
when I go to the Section 2, there's no number 8, Article 8 there.
Oh, so where is this?
Okay, Article 8 in the bylaw, in our bylaw, in the ministry bylaw, and Section 6.
Okay, can you say that again? Article 6?
Article 8
Article 8. Okay, one second.
is okay.
Is it finance?
Let me look at them. Just give me 1 second, please. Article 8. I'm just looking at my document. Let me spot. Article 5, Article 6. Department of the committee. No, wait a minute. Yeah, no. How come? Article 8. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Article 8. Yeah. Article is finance.
Okay, so they're talking about the encumbering.
Yeah, yeah, and then the section 6, and they have this article under this article. I couldn't find that article. That's just, you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, okay, hold on one second. Okay. So that's Article 13, but we renamed some of them, so it should be Article 17. So
Okay.
it's Article 17.
Okay, means one of the I has to disappear. There's only two line, X and 2 line, make it 17.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 17.
It's
Okay,
supposed to be XVII. XVII. That's 17.
Oh, thank you very much. XZII section 2.
Yeah, B is in Victor. Hold on, but it's not, hold on one second. Yes, section 2. That's correct.
Okay, that has to change to the XZII.
V is in Victor.
Oh, V, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
not
let me,
good
okay,
with that.
I'm gonna put that in the chat. What is it? Let me see.
Article 8, section 6, correction.
Okay, one second.
Is it possible, can you share your screen just so we can know exactly what we're looking for?
Yeah. One second, I'm doing Article 8, Section 6.
So this is going to be under trustee power. Article 17.
Correct.
Okay.
It's just it's just referencing that section. So wait, what is it? Article
17, you said.
So right here.
Right there, yeah.
Okay, so it should be XVII 17, section 2.
Okay. At least now we know.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
I'm putting it in the chat.
Okay.
Okay, I put it in the chat.
All right, thank you. And then the last one is, okay, this is a kind of confused situation for me. In the certification, we put our trustee, our name as a trustee. Then we sign it in the bottom, but then we give them all the trustee power, whatever, for 3-page leftover to the bank. For example, we go to the bank. But in the last one, you said you have a list of it to say, okay, who's going to be a successor trustee, co-trustee, or secretary, whatever. Do we have to give that list to the bank as well?
No.
Okay. Then in the certification of trustee, when we put trustee as a is or an are, when we put the other name beside, like, for example, I'm going to put myself as a trustee and then put somebody else as a successor trustee. Do I have to put them there, or they don't need it?
No, you don't put the successor on the certificate because they're not currently acting as a trustee. They're going to be the future trustee, but they're not the trustee today.
Okay, but in the top, then when they ask about the trustees, then I can add their how many trustees I have. Like in the beginning, they ask who is the trustee, who is the successor trustee. Beside my name, I could put their name. At least if they need it, they have something to back up.
Yeah, in the Constitution.
Yeah, in the beginning, yes. Okay, that's the part I couldn't figure out. Even went through a couple of times. Well, thank you very much for now, and and I'm sitting back, learn more. Thank you.
Thank you, Homo. All right, next we have Miss Dina.
Hi, Christina. Here's my question. I funded the bank account with my own personal funds. And so for the FBO to open a bank account, so I wanted to know, do I make a promissory note and later on, once the FBO does better and I get more members, would I be able to then get reimbursed?
Yes, that's correct. And we're going to go over promissory notes tomorrow. I'll show you step by step how to do it.
Okay, I just wanted to know. Yeah, that was my only question.
Thank you, Miss Tina. Awesome. Next, we have Miss Tina. Hey, Miss Tina.
Hi, Christina. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Christina, I have two questions.
Yes, ma'am.
The EIN numbers, the first two numbers, do they differ? Because
Yes.
I
Yours
have
starts with
99.
Yeah, one of mine is 99 too. I have all kind of different numbers.
Oh,
It's so yeah, it's just with the IRS, the numbers that they generate. But so they probably ran out of 99s and now they're on 33s.
Oh, okay. Good. Now for your FOB, faith-based organization, your grantor, you can have a grantor apply for the EIN number, or should it be a member of the organization?
It can be either or. So it could be any party that's a part of the trust. So it could be a board member or a trustee or a grantor.
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to do it over because I had the grantor. And
Oh no, you're fine. That's perfect.
oh, okay. Great. That's it.
Yep. Okay.
Take care. We'll talk.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you,
Okay.
Miss Tina. All right, next we have Miss Meredith Rose. Hi, Miss
Hi.
Rose.
Hi, Christina.
How are you?
I'm really well, and hello to everybody asking all these great questions. It's really cool. The things I wanted to ask are about doing tax returns. So what you said about that a trust business is covered by the business trust, that also applies to the FBO, correct? Like whatever is trust business can be deducted as an expense from the FBO as well?
Yes, that's true. If the FBO is required to file. So if the FBO generated income and then they are going to file. So FBO does not have to file. But yeah, FBO is not required to file the 1041.
Right. Okay, well, then this thing about being able to deduct up to 60% of expenses for the FBO from other taxable income, such as salary and pension, is it, do I
Okay.
I do that, right? I do that.
Yes, that's on the personal side. So I don't want you to confuse it. So that's on the 1040. So you as an individual file a 1040. And so whatever you transfer to the FBO, you can deduct that on the 1040 side.
Thanks. But what's better, to donate it, like a 60% donating to my own charity, or list all the expenses on the 1040?
It's better to donate it to your charity.
Okay, so that would occur under charities on the 1040. That's not a Schedule C, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And the same with like 25% of utilities. Would that also include internet and phone? Because that's business, right? That's trust business.
Yes.
So that's not on the Schedule C, huh?
No, so the Schedule C is only for other types of business, is not for the FBO.
Right. Okay, great, great, great. Thanks. And then do we get a donation receipt for the fee that we pay to you, or do we just list that as any, do we kind of bundle that under our total donation on the 1040 to the FBO?
So you have to on your personal side, you have to list it as an expense. So
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So all these things are listed. It's really difficult for me to grasp this for some reason, but so they're all listed as expenses, the fees, the any rent or mortgage or utilities,
correct,
heating. Okay, so they're
correct,
all expenses. So that donating the 60%, that's just a pure like a cash donation. And that's
correct,
aside from the expenses, right?
correct.
Oh, so is there any limit to the amount of expenses in terms of percentage of your salaried income that you can write off to the FBO?
So as long as it's an expense, there's no particular like limit. Like it can't like there's no limit to say you can only receive a deduction for, 20,000 or 50,000. So there's no concrete number on it. Your expenses are what they are.
Got
Can I
it.
say,
Okay, great.
can I
Thanks.
say
So
something?
the last thing, I asked you this before once, but I'd love for you to just refresh my memory. I've got a resale license that I got from the state a long, long time ago for a fragrance business that I had, and I want to start offering those fragrances again under my FBO, but it's under a former name like Meredith Rose Aromatics. And I think you told me I need to change that to the name of the trust, right?
Yeah, you have to contact the state.
But which agency in the state? I don't remember even how I got that.
So contact the Secretary of State that issues the licenses.
Okay. And the best way to do that is online, or is there an actual physical building I can go to?
Yeah, so I don't know. I do everything online. So I think that if you just Google the Secretary of State for California and then you get a number, you can call and then they'll direct you. If you want to appear in person, they'll direct you
I
to where
don't
you need
want
to go.
to,
But it
but
might. Oh
I just,
yeah.
I don't remember how I got it before. It was a really like about 20 years ago. So I don't remember. It's just under the Secretary of State.
Yeah, so there's different divisions. So you just have to go to the licensing division. But I
Oh,
think I think that if you call them, like whoever's the representative, they'll be able to direct you in the right, direction.
yeah, you're so cool with all those names. I just love it. Thanks a million, Christina. Thank you.
You're welcome, Miss Rose. It's always a pleasure to see you.
It is for me too.
Okay, awesome. All right, next we're gonna go to Namir. Hey, Namir.
Greetings, Christina.
Hey,
Um,
boss.
man, girl, you just I don't know what to say no more. Where are the recordings for the workshop?
Okay, that's a really good question. So, I'm gonna show you real quick. Um, Hold on one second. Let's see here. So if you log into your online portal, hold on, let me see what I got here. Hmm. There we go. So if you log into the online portal where you see the course, you're gonna have two options. So the first option is going to say workshop recordings. workshop training recordings. And then the second option says Wealthy Trustee Program. So Wealthy Trustee Program is the actual course with the 43 video modules, the ebooks, and the resources. The recordings for the workshop is the second box. And so all you have to do is once you click on that box, then these are all the recordings. So these are all of the workshops. And so you just have to go to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then you'll see it says workshop January 6th to January 10th. And then you'll see it says day 1 business trust, day 2 private family. So once we're done with today, day 3, then you'll see a new one that says day 3 like ministry trust 508c1a. So that's where you get the recordings. So these are all previous recordings. So you have lifetime access to the previous recordings. But if you want to go to this session, you just scroll all the way down to the bottom to the latest session, okay?
Gotcha. And then all the Q&As is on, and then all the Q&As is on
Telegram and Facebook.
Yep. And then my next one was you know how when you was filling out for the EIN number for the FBO, and they had where I guess you put you said with not the grantor's information. Well, where you had to put in your own personal information. Would you put if you already had a business, would you put your business number in there, or would you still use your social?
Yeah, so the IRS allows you to use a TIN number, a social, or an EIN, but the online version only accepts a social. So if you want to use and it has to be, if your business is not connected with the FBO, then you can't use it. So it has to be whoever is an officer, a member, a manager, like a grantor or a trustee. So any one of those individuals or those entities. If you're going to do it as an entity, then you have to fill out the SS4. So all you have to do is just Google SS4. So I'll show you. So if you just Google, hold on, let me see. SS4. This is a SS4. So you have to physically manually do it if you want to do it as an entity, okay? So this is the paper version of the online version that we do on the website.
Okay, gotcha. So if I want to use my EIN, that's what I have to use.
If you want to apply for it, you'll use the SS4.
Okay. Then my next question is the virtual addresses. So your business trust and then your FBO and your family trust can be the same address.
Yeah, they can be the same address. It depends on how you're operating them. So if you're operating the business trust in the public, then you want the business trust to have a separate address from the trust that you're keeping in the private, like the family trust or the FBO. So it depends on how you operate it.
So would it be best to just get separate addresses for all of them?
A lot of people do that. But for some people, it's not economic. It's not economical. So it depends on your situation.
Gotcha. But that would be the best play. Just everything separate.
Yes.
That's it. Okay, that's it for now.
I know, right? Don't worry, guys.
What questions can't you answer? I mean, you just
I
be spitting
know,
off
but
the head,
we
girl.
got
Are these just downloads? Like, do you really study this much, or is this just the earth angelness that the creator has just dropped into your Your being.
It's called infinite intelligence.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it just really coming from your
Understanding
intuition, right?
of the divine.
Yes. Oh my goodness, you be ripping it off, girl. Oh my goodness. Like, it's nothing. And guess what though?
Yeah.
And you are gorgeous doing it too. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Namir.
Okay.
Namir is so nice. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, guys. So we're about to wrap it up. I have two more questions. I have Cheryl and Delvin, and then I'm done with Q&A. I got homework, and then I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Don't worry. We have Thursday and Friday. Okay. All right. So Cheryl. Cheryl, are you still available?
Okay. When you go to get these trusts notarized, are you carrying it all these pages, or it's just certain pages to the notary?
So you want to bring all of them with you. You don't have to show them to the notary. So you just only want the notarized pages, but the notary is they need to know what they're witnessing. So you're going to carry all of your trust documents, but only the notary is going to be able to see the notarized pages.
Okay. And last question, I guess it's similar to Miss Rose question. A W-2 employee, how can they utilize the trust to limit their tax liability?
So they can have a tax deduction on what they donate to the trust. So the IRS has limited a W-2 employee to be able to have a maximum tax deduction of 60% of their annual gross income. So that means that if you make, if you make $100,000 for the year, then you can donate 60,000 or 60%. That's the highest. It doesn't have to be that number. It could be 40, 30, 20, 10, whatever you want it to be. So whatever that donation is to the organization is 100% deductible on the personal side.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Appreciate
Perfect.
you.
All right, then we have Delvin.
Yeah, question. If we're gonna be, let's say, having a property that has occupants in it, and we're gonna switch them to a structure where they're gonna be members of the FBO. And so then they're gonna make monthly donations to the FBO.
That's correct. That's correct.
And then for them to deduct it, I mean, is it just enough to have the bank statement to say they ZELLE in payments, or do we need to provide them with some kind of hard copy or electronic receipt for that donation every month?
So you're going to provide them with a donation receipt for their donation. So you have templates inside of the resources. So if you go into the online and you go to resources, you'll see that one of the resources says donation receipt. You fill it out, you hand it to the donor.
And that's under resources.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. It looks like Derek sneaked in a question, so I'll answer and then we can wrap it up, you guys.
Appreciate it. Really quick, just piggybacking off of the last question. How long does the FBO have to be in place to do the 60% as a W-2 when I'm trying to do a donation?
Yeah, there's no time period. It just has to be legalized. So as long as it's a legal entity, it can receive donations.
Okay, and those donations going at trust bank account or?
Yeah, so as the trustee of that organization, you are going to dispose of the money as you see fit. So based off of the trust constitution that we went over today, inside of the provisions, that's the way the money is handled, right? So you are going to place it if there's a financial institution or anything like that. You as a trustee that's receiving it, you're going to place it where it belongs. So it's either in a bank or another financial institution or any type of other account. So I'm not telling you that a bank is required, right? I'm not telling you that you have to get a bank account in order to receive donations. You can place those donations wherever you need to. So if you have a safety deposit box, if you're going to put it under the mattress, if you're going to put it in a safe at an undisclosed location, or wherever it goes.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up for today, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging in there for day 3 of the Wealthy Trustee Workshop. So I do have homework for you guys for today. So there's 2 pieces of homework. One is that you guys have already went through the process of knowing and understanding how you're going to set up the 3 trusts. On Monday, we went through the business trust and how to set it up. On Tuesday, we went through the private family trust and how to set it up. Today, we went through the faith-based organization and how to set it up. So now what we want to do is hold you accountable. So I want to know, I need you to post inside the Facebook group and in the Telegram chat, when are you going to get your trust notarized, right? So are you going to get all of your T's crossed and I's audit this weekend? So we want to be able to hold you accountable, because one thing that I've seen is that people will sit on this information and they'll let 1 week go by and 2 weeks go by and 3 weeks go by. So we don't want that to happen. The second homework that I have for you guys is you guys have received the asset inventory list. So on Friday, we're going to be focused on transferring assets. So I want you guys to be able to work on that worksheet so that you know what assets are going to remain inside of the trust and what assets are going to remain out of the trust. Tomorrow, we are going to be focusing on a few things. So you're going to receive a day 4 email tomorrow. And in that email, you're going to have all the resources and templates that you're going to need. Tomorrow, we're going to be going over how to have a board meeting. So we've been talking about these board meetings with these trusts. And so now I'm going to show you how to conduct one, okay? So we're going to conduct a board meeting, and it's going to be on the banking procedures. So we'll go down the list of what that looks like for the banking procedures for the trust, so that you guys can go and open up a bank account, okay? So do a little bit of research, see what banks offer trust accounts in your local areas. You got credit unions, you got smaller national banks, you got regional banks, okay? And then we're gonna go over the promissory note. So in the promissory note, we're gonna be documenting how much we're going to fund the trust with, okay? So that is vitally important for us to be able to know and understand and learn how to document loans, okay? So whatever we're going to fund the trust with, we're going to document it as a loan so that so that the trust can actually pay us back, okay? So I'll show you that process in the event that in the near future you want to receive or give loans to the trust organization. And then we're going to have a guest speaker who's going to come in. The guest speaker is going to teach us about business credit and business funding. So we're going to learn how to use OPM, how to use other people's money in order to be able to get the access to funding that we need so that we go acquire these assets for the trust organization, okay? So he's going to come in and break it all down for us. So that is the plan that I have for you guys for tomorrow, day 4 of the Wealthy Trustee Workshop. So you're going to receive an email on day 4, 1 hour before the workshop starts, okay? And so you're going to have the Zoom link, the resources, and the templates that you're going to need for tomorrow. So with that being said, You guys have a beautiful, wonderful Wednesday. I will see you here tomorrow, same space, same time.